Hi, Andrea Strang here at Gallery222. We are in Monique Sarkessian's room. She and I go way back. What was it? The red velvet shoes was the first piece of art I bought, and I still love it. And that has to be like 11 years ago, 10, 11 years ago. And so we had a connection with that. And then I've shown you how many times, so many times, and very successful shows. So now we're in her room, and we landed on oils and florals for this show. So did you enjoy painting this? What's your thoughts on your collection here?
And it was the perfect time of year too, because I love flowers, and after you go through the dull of winter and you're waiting for color to come back up. So then the garden was just starting to bloom, and I was buying flowers and getting inspired, but then my flowers started to bloom. So a number of these are with flowers from my garden. And, so as the progression went for creating, they became more and more personal, more and more of a connection to what goes on in my life and my favorite flowers and the things that I love and the colors that I love to paint.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Well, and then I really feel that glass, of course, most are in glass. And as an art student, I felt that was a very daunting task, but you handle the glass so well. What is your trick?
Well, I struggled with glass in the beginning, probably like most people do, because you're like, it's clear. It doesn't have a color.
Where's the tube of clear paint?
Yeah. And that's where and so I had asked one of my mentors, hey, how do you paint glass? And he was like, well, let's talk about it. And he didn't quite answer the question, as a lot of painting teachers don't actually answer those questions. But as I worked and I worked and I worked, I found colors.
Yes.
And that's what happens for me. Like, I'm obviously a colorist. I love color. The more you paint and find the colors in the objects, in the subject, and the composition, then I find more colors in between. So that's kind of a simple way of explaining. And I often love to paint glass and the colors that happen in there. And sometimes even I'll wait too long to paint the flowers, and the water will start changing colors, and I'll be like, oh, this is really great. See that yellow? Like, that's really fun. So all kinds of things happen in the studio. And even the blue tulips.
Yes.
There's the one over here that has a blue tulip, and that came from a wedding. And I took one of those home, and they had dyed the tulips, and then the water turned blue. And I was like, this is really exciting.
Yes.
Actually, I think the water was purple. And I was like, oh, this gets even better. Yeah. So I get excited by the unexpected things that happen, and I like to embrace them rather than just saying, oh, this didn't work out the way I expected. I try to use it as a springboard to get into the next.
Oh, I love it.
Wherever I think the next thing should be.
Tell us about Crown of Glory. I just love this piece. Now, I love the background. I love so many things about it. Was that a hard piece? Did you struggle over that?
Yeah, that definitely had some struggle with it. I painted over another painting that should have worked, and it didn't. And it had a gold background, which I thought was going to be awesome. And the painting was just kind of like this. So I wound up for this show trying to find, I built up momentum, and I find inspiration, and I found this photo which I had taken before, and I was like, there's something about this, and I used this background fabric that a friend of mine gave me, and it just came to life. And after it was done, I was like, I don't even know how that happened, but I love that kind of redemption that happens in artwork, where things are not, I don't plan everything out and intend that it has to be a certain way. I want it to be life-giving and have a life of its own. And so when something like that happens, I find that even more inspirational.
I love it. Well, please come to Gallery222. Our hours are Wednesday through Saturday, 11 o'clock to 5 o'clock. This room is cozy, and it'll put a smile on your face.